Hello and welcome to my presentation. The game I am creating is called Soul Society. You've died, but you've a role to play in purgatory. Serve and save other souls or send them into the unknown. Soul Society is a point-and-click adventure game with thought-provoking NPC encounters and puzzles which put the player's morality to the test. It uses classic adventure game puzzle solving. Possibly I will be using Adventure Game Studio, most likely. The player traverses a mysterious land until he encounters a fallen soul. It's unclear where he is and why he's there, but the primary emotion is solitude. The player starts off very lonesome in a strange environment. He wants nothing but to leave this dark and gloomy space. To complete the game, the player must surpass several challenges. This takes considerable observational and comprehensive skills. Following the text will be a storyboard of some of my planned gameplay. So, this is the start menu. When you turn on the game, this is what you'll see. When you press enter, you'll see the menu. So going back to the start screen, it's you'll see the title of the game in big writing, and in the back is a pixelated background which zooms in and out. So moving on to this next scene, this is how it looks when you begin your journey. So the background will be a beautiful pixel art background, parallax, and near the bottom of the screen is your character, and on the right is an NPC. When you hover your mouse over onto the NPC, the background begins to disappear and shift, as if it sort of indicates the significance of this player. When you hover your mouse over him, it's just you and him in the scene with a moving background. One left click and his menu pops up into the middle of the screen. So it turns out his name is Kane. You have three options: say hi, look at him, or fight. The thing about this game, one of the pillars of this game, is that the player always has a choice to do something evil, a hostile action, or a peaceful action. So saying hi is a positive action. Looking at him is a neutral action. Fighting is clearly a bad action, like a hostile. So in this scenario that I've drawn out, I've said hi to him. Hi is what your player would say. Hi is what he would reply. Kane then asks, have you seen Abe? It's been 17 days. This indicates to you that he is lost. He is in desperate need of help as he is searching for someone named Abe. Now, the thing of significance here is that it's sort of an Easter egg for the biblical story Cain and Abel. So yeah, so telling from this bit of dialogue here, which isn't all planned out. This is very in the beginning stages, but from this interaction, we know he needs help. Also, notice in the background it's completely disappeared. Once you click on him and begin to talk, it's just you and him. So this generates focus on the two subjects at hand, which is your character and the NPC. You have an option here to leave or enter soul. When you enter soul, an animation occurs and you are being transported into his soul, his mind space. And this is a quick sketch of what it could look like. And within this space, there'll be puzzles to solve. You will be needing observational skills to find the required items or mementos to help out Cain. Moving on. These are some of the characters that I've begun to draw on Photoshop. It's all pixel art. So one of the characters I'll be introducing is Nugget. Now Nugget isn't a character you help, but a character that reappears throughout the story. Shrooms is also another character, and as you see, they have a default setting, no extra colors, and also a colored version. The blue indicates positive relation. If in your world you befriend Nugget and you help him out, his hair turns a bit bluish, and that indicates a positive relationship. However, if you have angered an NPC, or an NPC is already angry, he is highlighted with red. Red, red symbolizes fear. No, not fear, sorry. It's anger, rage, that sort of thing. Negativity. So blue is good, red is bad for this game. But of course, to reiterate, the player always has a choice between good and bad actions. Moving on. Pillars. So for now, I think the pillars are having a dark, gloomy atmosphere. Classic point-and-click adventure game mechanics like Adventure Quest, pixel art, a Where's Waldo-esque item retrieval puzzles, Easter eggs of biblical stories and myths. Players can choose to harm or help NPCs, and obviously there are consequences for your actions, and the endings depend on the player choices throughout the game. So there'll be different endings. Some inspirations. So just a quick little list: Hollow Knight, Dark Souls, Bear's Restaurant, Spirited Away, Viktor Frankl, Angel Beats, and Adventure Quest. On the next page there'll be some images, and I will go through some of the inspirations. So on the left side here you see Dark Souls, which is generally Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. You see the color scheme. You get a feel of like just loneliness, darkness. Bear's Restaurant is a mobile game, which is essentially you meet a lot of unique characters, and each one has a certain feel to it, and you really feel the atmosphere. So this right here is a scene from Spirited Away. So is this one, and so is this one. In Spirited Away, Chihiro is transported into a mysterious land, and her identity is taken away from her, from the witch, by the witch is doing, and she becomes Sen. However, she is urged by her peers to remember who she is and save her parents. And while she was doing that, she's also helped Haku remember who he is, and also helps No Face become calm down from his rage and greed. In the top right here we have Angel Beats. In the story, spoiler alert by the way, in the story these kids are sort of living in this world where they can't die. They repeat their lives. If they die inside this world, they come back to life, and they respawn essentially. However, there is occasions where the characters become obliterated, in which they don't exist in this world anymore and disappear. And it turns out that the obliteration is them moving on once they've fulfilled their desires. However, this bunch, they sort of cling on to the world, and they try not to obliterate. But one character called Angel, she's trying to get them all to move on, and they see her as the enemy, but she's not. She's trying to help them move on to the next part of their lives, or the next part of whatever existence is. The last few remaining pictures are Adventure Quest. Yes, generally I want the dialogue and the combat to be similar to this. Yeah, so that's my inspirations.